will create the following 3D model using Catia V5. As you can see, the principal shapes that we have right here is a rounded shape. Sorry, let me change this to pointer. It's a rounded shape straight along this direction with its respective holes, with its respective steps, and finally 2 rounded corners straight along this direction with its respective holes. The difficulty of this 3D element is right here. Right here we have what could be a hole within the extrusion of the circle that I've just mentioned. So we're going to start. As always, the first thing that we're going to find is the unit system that the engineering draws, in this case, it's using. As always, this engineering draws does not contain information that could be visible for us to see that it's working maybe in inches, feet, I don't know. So because of this, we can assume that these are millimeters. All right, this is our first assumption. The second thing that we're going to do is to look at the view, and we're going to start creating the sketch of the view that contains the most information possible, that the one that contains most of the dimension of the 3D element. As you can see right here, I just have one view. Why is that? Because this is an auxiliary view. This is a section view, right? Specifically. What this means is that this section view is created taking into account this line pointing towards this direction, right? It is important for me to say that this engineering draw was made by Luis Miguel Huérfano Garzón. And as you can see, there is no information about anything. Right here, it is telling me the material, which is plastic. But I don't really care about this at this moment. What I want is to create this part, right? So we're going to start by clicking on File. Sorry, I'm going to start Mechanical Design, Power Design. This is going to be our tutorial 22, I think. Enter. Now we have access to the Catia V5 environment, Power Design environment. The first thing that I'm going to do is to create these 3 circles, 1, 2, and 3, because it's the principal instruction, I think. So I'm going to select the sketch tool, and then all I have to select is a face, or in this case a plane. I'm going to select the XY plane for me to start. All right, now I'm gonna use double click for me to continue using the circles option, the circles tool, after I finish one, right? As you can see, 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to define their dimensions, 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna make sure that I'm working on with millimeters. So tools, options, parameters and measures, units, and right here I have millimeters. All right. Then I'm going to use this tool, edit multi-constrain. This has a radius of let me see, 20, a diameter of 20. That means that the radius is 10. And as you can see, the first thing that we have to take into account here is that the LD multi-constraint tool is asking for me to tell it the radius, not the diameter. The second thing is that it is being shown in cyan, in blue, the dimensions that I've changed. In orange, the dimensions that I'm currently changing, and finally in green, the dimensions that I've not changed yet. So this is equal to 15, and finally this is equal to 25, right? Remember, we are writing down the radius. Okay, and once again, okay, sorry, this doesn't change. So 25 radius, 25. All right, 50 diameter, 50. Okay, there is a mistake here. The one that is missing is the 20 diameter, 20 millimeter, right? All right, so we have already our sketch. Now I'm getting out of this sketch, and I want to show you one new tool for you, for the ones that are following my previous videos, which is called Multi-Pad. All right, what this does is that it does a similar job to the edit multi-constraint. Why is that? Because as you can see, it is being shown in blue the part of the sketch that I want to extrude, right? So since this is the corner of the sketch, this has a dimension of 38 millimeters. So you can see right here, 38. Preview. All right, the next thing is for me to create these two holes. Right here I have one hole with this dimension, and right here I have a through-wall hole. All right, so what I'm going to do, since I have this circle, is to extrude it. But extrude it taking into account this dimension. I think that I'll make myself understand better if I do it. So this has a dimension of 6 millimeters, as you can see right here. So all I have to do is to say, well, I want this part to be extruded 38 millimeters minus 6. Preview. All right, as you can see, there is no like necessity of me creating holes, right? Because it is being created like this. So okay. All right, now we have the principal part. Now I want to create these two sized rounded corner shapes. So I'm going to create a sketch taking into account once again the XY plane. I need this circle to be within the sketch that I'm currently doing, so I'm going to call it by using the project 3D element. I want it to be created for construction purposes, so I'm going to select this tool. Okay, and as you can see, it is being shown like this. I'm gonna deselect this tool because I want it to the following or the next shapes that I want to create to be shown. So right here I have a circle, and right here I'm going to create a line. This line is important to touch the two circles, but this cannot touch the center line of these circles like this, because this is a mistake. I want this line to be tangent to both of the circles, right? So I'm gonna select both of them, maintaining the Ctrl key, and I'm going to select the constraint define in dialog box. I'm gonna say that I want it to be tangent. I'm going to do it once again with these two tangency. Then I want to create a symmetry of this line right here. So I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna use the mirror tool, and I'm gonna select the axis in which I want it to be created the symmetry from. So right here, everything looks good. The next thing that I want to do is to define the dimensions. So from here, as you can see, from here till here I have 70 millimeters. That means that from here till here I'm gonna have 35. So double click, from here till here 35, enter, and this has a radius of 15. So it means that has a diameter of 30. Enter. Well, everything looks good. What's left is to eliminate the lines that I do not need. So as you can see, the door is going to open because my cat is right there. So don't freak out. Right here I'm going to create this circle because I want it to be created the hole, the through-hole hole. And right here I have the dimension. This means 2 times a diameter of 12 through-hole in Spanish. Enter. And now I'm gonna eliminate the lines that I do not need. I'm gonna select the quick trim tool and I'm going to start selecting the lines that I do not need, right? So as you can see, I've created this profile, but if you remember, for when you want to work with Catia V5, every sketch must be perfectly defined and close. Why is that? Because if not, there is going to be a mistake or an error for when I want to extrude it. For example, if I want to extrude it using the normal path definition tool, it is going to show me this error. That it basically is telling me that the sketch is open. So cancel. I'm getting in once again to the sketch, and right here I'm gonna have the open. All right. Why is that? Or it could be shown maybe with this shape is easy for us to see that it's open. But if you have that kind of mistakes, and if you cannot see where it's open with the sketch that you are doing, you have a tool for you to notice that. So we're going to click on Tools, Sketch Analysis, and as you can see, it is being shown like in cyan with rounded shapes with some circles right here where it's open, and it is telling me right here this profile is open. There are 3 curves and the 8 endpoints are open. So all I have to do is to say that I want this line to be created or to be shown. So let me select it. Use this tool. But now right here I'm gonna have another mistake. Why is that? Because I need this part of the circle, just this part, not the whole circle. So I'm gonna eliminate the part that I don't need. Right? Everything looks good. Let me check it. Sketch analysis. Right, close, no warnings. I'm getting out of the sketch. And there is 2 ways in which I can create the symmetry of this part, because right here we only have this part, but we require this other part, which is the same, taking into account this symmetry axis. So I'm gonna do the two ways. So the first one, I'm gonna extrude this. This has a dimension of 2 millimeters, as you can see right here. So 10, enter. And then I'm going to create the symmetry of, or the mirror of the part that I've just created. So I'm gonna look at right here, it is this path. So mirroring element is going to be the plane or the axis of symmetry. So in this case is this axis, the YZ. All right. The current solid, no, I don't want the current solid. I just want this path. Preview. Okay. Everything looks good. The other way for me to create it is by creating the symmetry plot within the sketch. So once again, we have to be right here. I'm going to select all the parts or the profiles, the lines. And once again, I'm going to use the mirror option and click on the axis. I'm getting out, and then I'm going to use the path definition tool, 10 millimeters, enter. All right. It's actually the same thing. So we get to a point in where we have to create this hole. So as you can see, this hole is at the exact middle of the part. So all I have to do is to create a sketch at the exact middle of the part. In this case, I'm going to use the CX plane. All right. Remember, if you don't see these hidden lines, it is normal because you can activate that option from here. So as you can see, you can change the way in which you are seeing the part. This works for me. Why? Because I need to see the hidden lines because he's showing me the hole. So I'm gonna call this line, and finally this line. Okay, and nope, I don't think so. Well, yeah, this line. I'm gonna call it by clicking on Project 3D Element. Once again, I want it to be created for construction purposes, so once again, right here. Then I'm going to create the lines that I need right here and right here. And then we're going to create one point that is going to be shown. So click right here, deactivate this tool, and it could be right here or right here. So I don't care. I'm gonna click it right here. This has a dimension of 12 millimeters with respect of the center of the hole. So I'm gonna click on right here for me to define that those 12 millimeters. So 12, enter. And that's it. That's all I have to do in this sketch. I'm getting out. And as you can see, it is being created this point. Now we're going to create a plane at that specific point. So for me to do it, I'm going to click right here, plane. Then I'm going to select one plane that I want to move. So as you can see, this plane must be perpendicular to this face in this case, or this face. So that plane is going to be the YC plane. So I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to choose the point. So as you can see, I've moved or created one new from this place to the point. So okay, and all I have to do is to create the sketch. I'm gonna call this point because that is going to be my center. Call it, but I want it to be created for construction purposes. Once again, I'm going to create a circle. I want it to be shown, and this has a dimension of 6 millimeters, a diameter. So 6, enter. And I'm getting out of the sketch. All right, we have our circle. That is going to be our hole. So I'm going to use the pocket definition tool. I'm going to select the sketch. I want it to be created up to next, because it like tries to find the next face through the 3D model that we have right here. Preview. Everything looks good. Okay. I want to hide that plane and that point, so I'm gonna select both of them. Right click, hide. And that would be all, guys. This is how you can create this 3D model using Catia V5.